Hello and welcome to my video. So today I will be showing you some bracelets that I made. I just sat down, got my beads out and started making some bracelets. I did not have a plan, I was just having a chill day where I was making some jewelry. What you saw me doing with the little golden ring and the huge, like, I think they're called, like, I don't know, like tweezers? I don't know. I think that they called something else, but I was just trying to squish it down because I actually wanted to have a bracelet where I could swap out the charms, and I only have one size of ring, so I wanted to have one size of ring for just having the bracelet be able to clip up, and so the other rings are for the charms, so I can put them on and swap them out. I thought that would be a fun idea, but since the rings of the same size wouldn't fit into each other, I squished one of them down so then I could easily put things on. And yes, so all I did here is use a stretchy string. I think it's just some kind of stretchy clear material that I think is 0.5 millimeters. I thought was the smaller size. I would prefer a thinner one because sometimes if I'm doing something more complicated than just a simple design where I put the beads on, it doesn't fit through the beads more than once, so it's a bit more difficult. But it is good for making nice comfy bracelets because it fits onto the hair nicely, unlike the non-stretchy materials. It is easier to take off as well. And the reason I still had the clip, because if you're using a stretchy material, you don't have to use a clip, because you could just, stretch it and take it off. The reason I had the clip so I could put the charms on. For all of my beads I use, I think, like 3mm beads. And yeah, they're pretty fun to use and they're really cute. Yeah, now I am making a little cherry. I don't know if you can follow it, but yeah, it's just, I think it's a pretty simple design. You just create a little pattern and then you like roll it up and it creates a little cherry and then you make the little leaves. And I think most of the beads I'm using I got from AliExpress, and I might show them in a review someday if there's enough interest, because yeah, I got a lot of colors and they're really cute. And for the actual material I'm using to make the charms, it's a non-stretchy, I think it's a much thinner material, can't remember the exact width, but it might be like 0.1 millimeter, and it's just like a fishing line material, and it is better to use the stretchy one for the charms because it can actually fit into the beads more than once, which is necessary for creating the designs. And yeah, so these charms are pretty fun to make. I think I make 3 charms in this video, and it didn't take me too long. I think it probably took me half an hour to make all of the parts, so the bracelet and the charms. And although I think for the cherry I just looked up a tutorial, for the other ones I just did them just from the top of my head, just made them up. I could have probably made them neater, but considering that most of them I just came up with on the spot, I think it's okay. It was still pretty fun. I have been making a lot of different bracelets throughout the holidays because, yeah, I got some materials for making them and I've been making a bunch of different types. I've also been making rings and necklaces and also little bead animals. Maybe I'll make a video where I make a bead animal because they turn out so cute. And throughout making them I always lose a couple of beads because they're so tiny and they're so easy to drop. Sometimes the little wire flings one of them somewhere far away and you can never find it, but it's okay because the beads I'm using are really cheap and there's a lot of them in the packet, so it's not a big deal if one of them gets lost. I think this type of activity is really fun and relaxing to do while watching videos or a movie or something like that, because it doesn't require too much thinking unless you're doing a complex design. I started a complex cat design before and then I gave up on it because I was so confused. but the instructions were in a language I didn't speak. So I was just trying to follow the pictures. Maybe if I could speak the language it would be much easier. But yeah, it was a bit difficult. But with the simple designs I think it's pretty relaxing. Okay, now I'm just trying to put on the charm onto the bracelet. And yeah, it looks pretty cute. It's actually pretty easy to put on because you can just stretch it on. Sometimes it's a bit hard to clip up the bracelets when you're just putting them on with one of your hands. So with the stretchy one, a bonus is that I can just clip it up and then stretch it over my hand to put it on. And I think now I'm just making a flower design. I think I'm using the same green beads as before for the stem. I remember making a lot of bead bracelets and rings and stuff when I was a little kid, and I think it's probably a pretty good activity for kids because, I mean, I imagine it would be good for fine motor control, and yeah, I used to make a bunch of those, but I didn't have all of the proper, like, material, so I just used those types of beads and just normal string, and I remember it was pretty fun. So when I found some of my old beads, I decided to try making bead bracelets again, and I ordered some more online, and yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. Definitely still fun even as an adult. Now I'm just making the little petals of the flower with the blue beads, and I think the color is really pretty. I really like the kind of clear glass look that these beads have. I think they're actually, yeah, made out of glass, so they look a bit nicer than the plastic beads, but they're not too expensive, so it's really nice. And it took me a couple of tries to get the flower right because the middle, you you make the little blue petals and then you just put another yellow bead in, and then you kind of go into the middle. And it took me a couple of tries to get that right. And I think it would have looked nicer with a little bit of a shorter stem, or if I had some bigger beads to use for the petals, because it looks a bit disproportional at the moment, but I think I tried making another flower with a bit of a shorter stem after that. And how you make like just a little line, it's pretty easy. You put a bead onto one of the strings and then you put the other string through it. So it kind of is like, I mean, I think you might have been able to see in the video, but just in case you didn't catch what I was doing, I was literally just putting both of the strings through at once, but from different sides, so it kind of like holds it together like that. And then you just keep going and it makes a long line. But for the petals, I put them all on at once onto one of the strings, and then I kind of like curve it in, so it's going like in a little circle, and then I put another bead on top and that goes in the middle. It probably will make more sense when you see me do it. And of course, after I made the charms, I tied off the creation with a couple of knots, because otherwise obviously the beads would fall off. So it's important to make sure that your knots are pretty tight, otherwise they can just fall apart. It was a bit difficult to film this video because it was a bit hard to keep my hands in frame, so if there's little bits that are cut off, that is why. And it was also a bit difficult to keep the focus right, because I would be lifting the bracelet that I'm making up or down and then it would be out of focus. So if I'm going to make videos like that again, I should probably figure out how to do that better. But it was still a fun video to make, and I hope you enjoy it as well. I think that's my last charm almost ready. I'm just tying off the knot, and then you will see me try it on. And yeah, I think I could have made the charms a bit cuter, but since I was just doing them in my head, I think I'm okay with how they turned out. I think the colors are kind of cute. I don't know, I think maybe putting all 3 charms on at once is a bit much, but yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's a bit better to just have 1 charm at once, or all 3? And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't think I've made any videos on making bead things before, so tell me whether you enjoyed it or not. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye!